What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to Lyles Figure Files. 2023 has gotten off to a really good start in terms of action figure collecting for me. I've already seen about 5 to 6 figures that I could easily consider in the running for top 10 figures of 2023, and it's just the third day of March at this point. So between Marvel Legends with their Avengers 60th anniversary wave, there's some strong contenders there. The classic Hawkeye, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau figure, so many other figures like the Thor, the Destroyer. Really excited about what they have to offer. But I feel like McFarlane Toys with their DC Multiverse line has been a little bit more consistent because they're not drawing so much from so many movies or TV shows. They're really doing a lot of quality comic book figures. For so long, early on, it felt like we can only do Batman figures. But since they've kind of removed that veil and said, hey, we have access to the entire DC universe, they've cranked out some really strong figures. Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Godspeed, Deathstroke. We've seen some reveals now. Mr. Freeze, Man-Bat. So many nice looking figures that go beyond just the scope of Batman variants. Now, not everything is perfect still. Still waiting on a classic comic book version of Wonder Woman, a Black Canary, a Green Lantern. This is a little bit more classic. A better version of Flash, Hawkman, Atom, Red Tornado, Green Arrow, you name it. I mean, there's so many Justice League characters that I'm still waiting on, but I'm encouraged that they're finally going to get to them. I mean, we got Blue Beetle and Booster Gold last year, so I'm optimistic and hopeful we'll see all these guys eventually. And we were seeing a lot of good strides from McFarlane Toys just as recently as 2 weeks ago when they released the Titans Build-A-Figure wave. I didn't care about Savage Beast Boy, but I was really happy to see that we're still getting out that changeling version of Beast Boy with the white and red attire. Classic look for him, no purple like the DC Classics version that still continues to baffle me. Their whole rollout of the Titans was so frustrating because they had some really great versions like that Robin, the Cyborg, but then we got an out-of-scale Kid Flash, Starfire in a modern take, and then the Beast Boys, like, what is he even doing? So that was a mess. It seems like McFarlane Toys actually has a more focused take on the Titans. They're just going to go with the DC Rebirth looks, which is fine because, okay, DC Classics should have taken out the Classics version, but we got a Nightwing. He looks really good except for the fact that he has fists that cannot hold his sticks. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do with that. Maybe I can find some to swap out so he can actually hold them. Donna Troy looks like she's super mad and a little bit older than she should. But Arsenal looks great. Raven looks pretty good. Like I said, that classic Beast Boy was really good. And he's not classic in the sense that he's got the young face and the bowl haircut. But I really like this with the white and red attire. I still need to get a classic Starfire, Cyborg, of course, Tempest, Bumblebee, Omen. So there's still a few more members of that roster that I want in figure form, and I got to chase down that red and silver version of Wally West because that was Rebirth Squad that I really enjoyed reading when Rebirth started. I'm not here to talk about Titans. I'm here to talk about what might be my number one figure of the year for 2023. That, of course, is the KnightFall Batman. This figure just kind of got revealed out of nowhere, and I saw it and was like, oh my gosh, I think they've nailed it. Now, if you're a collector around the age of 40 plus, that's your version of Batman. The blue cape, cowl, gloves, boots, tights, gray attire, yellow oval that's kind of prominent but not too big to draw the targets. The utility belt with the capsules, nothing too huge, not too bulky, no pouches, just capsules. That's your Batman. That's the one you saw in Super Friends and Superpowers, the one you read in the comic books, the one that showed up on Scooby-Doo. That's your Batman. And to me, this figure embodies that perfectly. It's called the KnightFall Batman, I guess just because that's the easiest designation for it, but that's the classic version of Batman for me. But talking about Knightfall, that is one of my all-time favorite events because, first off, it was hyped up spectacularly. Reading after the death of Superman, it was like, oh no, they're going after Batman next. They had those great house ads where it was Batman's going somewhere he's never gone before. away. And they just had these one-page teasers where they wrote up a little something. So if you're reading Justice League or any other book, you just see these ads kind of teasing, here's what's coming. And it was like, uh-oh, they're really going to do some bad stuff to Batman. And every month, every week, it was a new chapter. You see the oval slowly getting red, and it was like, oh man, this is really ominous. And every time they ended, it was that little teaser, and Bane is still out there. And so, of course, seeing this version of Batman really has me excited about tracking down that Bane, because that figure looked impressive anyway. But now I got the Batman to match it from McFarlane, and it's like, okay, gotta track this guy down. I don't know where I'm going to find it because it seems like it's sold out everywhere, but that immediately becomes a priority right now. But looking at this KnightFall figure, everything looks straight with it. The head sculpt looks perfect. The ears aren't too big, not too short. They're just the right length and height. The head sculpt is perfect. He looks determined, not too angry, not too intense. Looks like the world's greatest detective. The oval, right shape. The gloves aren't too long. They're the right size. The little points on his glove, again, right size. The boots aren't exaggeratedly too long. The cape flows well, not too big. Utility belt, pouches. No, we got the capsules here. Everything looks dead on from what I want from that classic version of Batman. And we've seen all these companies take their crack at this. We've seen the DC Classics version. Still have mine prominently in the front of my display of my Justice League. It looks really good. We got him. Got the DC Essentials version. Another good version of him. And we've got coming up from Mayfex, their version of KnightFall Batman, along with Bane. And I thought that was going to be the definitive version of this KnightFall look. But I think McFarlane might have actually beaten them out, because I've got a sneaky suspicion I'm not going to see that KnightFall Batman from Mayfex till 2025. Whereas I know I'm going to get this version from McFarlane Toys at some point, maybe even as early as May, because they don't reveal these figures and then have us lingering, waiting when these figures are going to come out for so many months after. It's like, here's a shot, and we're going to get the figures in another month. I love that about them. And then another figure I really loved seeing was the Tim Drake Robin. Now, I grew up with Dick Grayson as Robin, but went through the Jason Todd era. But Tim Drake is my Robin. That's my guy. And I hated from the start what Brian Michael Bendis started doing when he decided Robin doesn't need a code name. We're just going to call him Drake. So really sketchy stuff that he started doing, and then all this other stuff they've done with him. Tim Drake in his 90s glory, it's amazing. Really love that look. And Brian Bolland drew this great cover where he's got this deal where you can kind of barely see his face. And he's got the cape draped and Batman just chilling in the background. It really made it look like Robin was formidable on his own and not just a boy hostage, not hiding behind Batman, that he was fully capable of doing his own thing. And this figure reflects that. Really great sculpting. Got the 3 clasps on the front. Got the red. He's got the green. He's got the black cape. I think the head sculpt looks pretty good for this version as well. He's got his staff. So it looks like everything that I really want from this Robin figure is right here. And they did a great job with this one as well. And then, so we got our Batman side covered. We got the KnightFall Catwoman, which now becomes way more important to me because we got a Batman, we got a Robin to match her. Now we turn over to the other big 90s event for DC, the Reign of the Supermen. And we finally get the first one, because I don't really count that Eradicator we got because it's got the black onyx kind of skin that doesn't match up to the comics. We've got a Superboy that's more based on the modern era, not the 90s one with the fade and just youthful and smaller. So we don't have those versions of those characters just right. But we did get one today, and this one looks amazing. It's steel, and much like that KnightFall Batman, this could be the definitive version of John Henry Irons in figure form. The DC Direct one is one of my favorite figures. I just think they nailed the look for the comic. He's big, he's wide, and he's got the hammer, he's got the cape flaring out just right. But this figure really looks good. It's got all the sculpting detail, got a big S logo as well. The cape looks like it's got the right amount of flow hanging back there. It looks like he's got a hammer that looks like he can really nail some stuff. And I'm really excited from this teaser shot of steel. It looks like McFarlane knocked this one out. But of course, that's just the first Reign of the Superman figure for me, because I need Cyborg Superman. I need a better version of Eradicator, a younger looking Superboy. And while we're at it, let's get that mullet version of Superman to go along with him. But this is a really great start, and I cannot wait to see what else we get from that Reign of the Superman era. And then finally, they showed off just a few moments ago the Hush version of Superman. I know a lot of customizers or quick fixer-uppers were like, hey, I can make this Kit Bash version of Superman. And this is the Hush version, no red heat vision eyes, no angry expression, just a calm sort of likeness to Jim Lee. I don't think it's perfect, but it's here. It's got a little bit too much detail on the tights or the outfit in general, but it's okay. I think it's still a little bit too bulky and wide for Superman. Of course, the real test will be, is he taller than Batman? Because he needs to be. That could be the only thing that could mess up that KnightFall Batman, if he's just towering over everyone. We don't need that. We need him to be average height or at least smaller, shorter than Superman. But this Superman is pretty good. I think a lot of collectors are going to be excited to see this added to the collection. I kind of need that definitive version of Superman like we got with this KnightFall Batman. I still don't think we got the perfect Superman just yet, but I think they're getting a little bit closer. Maybe we need a smiling head sculpt. I think that could work. So anyway, those are really strong 4 offerings from DC's multiverse from McFarlane Toys. Really excited about what they're doing and very curious to see what else is going to come out the rest of the year. Maybe, hopefully, we get that classic Wonder Woman. So let me know what you guys think, because I have a lot of reasons to be excited. I'm curious if you all are as well. Thank you as always for watching. This episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been filed.